You know, I would have liked a nice, relaxing win, a nice non-stressful win, so we can have just an enjoyable, relaxing, calm, don't have to go too over the top for a recap or anything like that, because one, my throat is really scratchy. I can definitely feel either some allergies coming up, or whenever I feel something in my throat that feels funny, it probably means I'm getting sick in the next few days, because that's how my body works. But I can't have anything nice. So you're definitely going to have to bear with me with my voice for this stream, for this recap, because who knows if it can go out here. Because, like I said, my throat feels really funny. You can never have anything easy when Nick Sirianni is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. My God, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. The Eagles barely squeak by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and yes, you could definitely say that it was a trap-style type of game going into this week for the Eagles. It was a Jacksonville squad that is not good. They're definitely not a good team. They found a way to claw back, though, and the Eagles almost lost this one. They were up 22-0 at one point. Jacksonville claws back into the game. It becomes way too close for no reason. You're stabbing yourself in your own foot because of your head coach and his decision making on 2-point conversion plays and a fourth down play, which, it was 4th and inches. He decides to roll out with Jalen Hurts to the right, and it easily gets snuffed out instead of just tush pushing on 4th and inches. I don't care that the tush push failed on 2-point conversions. It is 4th and inches. You'll find a way to convert it. They can't stop it 3 times. And if they stop it 3 times, okay, credit to Jacksonville. But then it also comes back to the fact that you probably should have kicked the field goal. Nick, at some points, you don't have to be aggressive. You don't need to be aggressive because at the stage of the game that you were in, the game wasn't over. It just wasn't. Now, I'm not going to be on the argument of just taking points, versus going for 2 points. Sometimes I would be in favor of going for 2 points to basically put them away, to basically, dig deep into the wounds of the Jacksonville Jaguars. But I think Nick Sirianni at the end on the 4th and inches coached kind of scared. Not gonna lie, I think he coached kind of scared on the 4th and inches because he was scared of Jacksonville stopping the tush push, or he was trying to catch him off guard with something. Well, it didn't work. And then when you finally decide to kick a field goal, which basically disregarding Jake Elliott the entire game, his first kick attempt is from 57 yards, and he misses it as it doinks off of the uprights. And now you risk Jacksonville. It's a 5-point game. They got a little above 2 minutes left. They could possibly go down the field. They don't even make it a completion in their first couple of attempts. But then Avonte Maddox gets called for pass interference right before C.J. Johnson dropped what could have been an interception, even though that's the same play Avonte Maddox got called for pass interference on. Then they make another completion, force a first down, and then thank the goddamn Lord for Nakobe Dean making an unreal interception in the end zone to basically seal the game away because talent, once again, high-end talent once again bails out Nick Sirianni. How many times? Saquon Barkley was fantastic in this game, and no, I'm not going to criticize him on a fumble because the fumble should not have been called. Saquon Barkley was down by contact. You saw on the replay of his sock getting pulled, which led him to tripping and stepping on the foot of one of his offensive linemen. Saquon Barkley was down. That call should have been reversed. It shouldn't have been a fumble. It shouldn't have been a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So the refs screwed you on that one. Then once again, unreal catch on 3rd and 22 by Devontae Smith. This catch was unreal. One-handed, reels it in with his arm, finds a way to keep 2 feet in bounds. Gives the Eagles a nice cushion there. Unreal. Defense gets a stop. They force Jacksonville to punt. And that's when you try to go down the field, and Jake Elliott misses the field goal. which basically could have sealed away the game because it would have been an 8-point game. Jacksonville having to go down the field, having to score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. I think I could trust my defense in that sense to seal the game away, which they did eventually with Nakobe Dean's interception, but it didn't have to get to that point. This was a game where it did not need to be as close as it was, but Nick Sirianni's decision making, he left a lot of points on the board. This was a game, if you can describe it, as playing with your food and it coming back to bite you in the ass. Nick Sirianni, instead of just going for the jugular, just taking the points, just putting all these risks on the board when you're constantly going for 2-point attempts, when it's failing each and every time, when you kick an extra point initially, and then Jacksonville gets called for, I believe it was offside or something like that, and then you elect to go for 2 points. Just keep the extra point, Nick. Just keep the extra point at this rate because it's not going for you. Just take the points. You're thinking way too hard on the game. Take the points. Take the goddamn points. But nope, you keep being aggressive. You keep going on 4th down. Even though 4th and inches, you should have tush-push. You shouldn't be playing afraid. I think it was more playing afraid than you trying to sneak out something on Jacksonville and trying to trick them or something like that by rolling Jalen out to the right. It wasn't going to work. It was going to get sniffed out easily. It just was. It completely was. Why aren't you tush-pushing it on 4th and inches? And then you can also just go to the argument, kick the goddamn field goal. The decision-making by your head coach, honest to God, deserves firing, in my honest opinion. But nope, he's not going to get fired after this game. They're not going to fire him after a 4-game win streak. That's unheard of in the NFL. It's not going to happen. It just isn't. I really hope he takes and owns up to it instead of hiding behind, his children once again in the press conference and, owns up to, hey, I almost costed us this game. I give it, credit to all of our players out there that found a way to pull this one out because it shouldn't have been as close as it was because of my dumbness. It's just a matter of the fact there. The only reason this game was close was because of Nick Sirianni. That is the bottom line there. This is the only reason this game was close. And if you want to throw in the refs completely botching up the Saquon fumble, yes, you can also put it on there because it wasn't a fumble. He was down by contact. It was, not clear as day in the live action, but, you would think referees would try to look at every single replay possible to determine if he was down or not. And they definitely showed a replay after the commercial break where it looked like his sock was being tugged on, which led him to stepping on the foot of one of his O-linemen, and then he eventually goes down. I would consider that down by contact. Wouldn't anybody else? I have no idea. I'm just a person ranting here on YouTube. I don't know. But it definitely did see clear as day that the refs completely botched that one. After Jacksonville scores their first points, you try to go back down the field and respond, and then boom, boom, it's only a few-point game there. Which it could have been a 3-score game, it could have been a 4-score game if you took your extra points. If you stopped trying to be too cute, wouldn't have been a game to begin with. Could have been a 3-point score game. Could have been a 4-score game. Nope, because Nick Sirianni wanted to be Mr. Aggressive. And that's the thing. I don't knock being aggressive. I think being aggressive is a very important factor in what defines your offense. I think it is. But there's being aggressive, and then there's just being flat out stupid. Flat out stupid. And that's exactly what Nick Sirianni was in this game. It was just stupid after stupid after stupid after stupid after stupid. Even though the offense didn't feel like it was fully fleshed out for the entire game, there definitely were a few struggles. You get your first touchdown, thank the Sidney Brown forcing out, a punt return, forced a fumble there, and you just go back down the field, a nice dime from Jalen to Saquon Barkley in the end zone. So that was nice there. Jalen Hurts has a nice run into the end zone as well to get a touchdown. It's just the fact that some of these things, it was just ugly where it didn't need to be as ugly as it was. Jalen Hurts kind of avoided a couple of interceptions there as well, not going to lie. I'm just saying, he kind of did avoid it in my honest opinion. Definitely was had a feeling of a trap game written all over it. Oh yeah, then you also have a very nice, at the end of the half, the nice, what was it, 3rd and 15 run by Saquon Barkley, 3rd and 11, I think. It was like 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 15. Like, those are the two numbers that are coming to my mind at the end of the half when Saquon Barkley had that nice run, and Jacksonville was kind of being cowards in their coverage, and Saquon Barkley just completely took advantage of it. But that was also another instance, I believe that was the one where you kicked the extra point initially, and then Jacksonville got the offside penalty, and you decided to go for 2 instead of keeping the extra point on the board. It's getting to the point where it's just goddamn stupid. Just take the points, Nick. Just take the goddamn points, man. That's all I'm asking. My God. This game did not have to be as close as what it was, because there were so many things fantastic that happened in this game. Bond gets an interception, a nice, deflection there. I forget who was I believe the deflection was from Nakobe Dean, if I'm not mistaken, but I think it was the deflection by Nakobe Dean that landed in the hand of Bond. Then you get the Nakobe Dean interception at the end of the game that was basically sealed it off there at the end of the game at that point. That was fantastic. Huge in coverage there by Nakobe Dean. A little bit of an overthrow by Trevor Lawrence, but, I'll take it at the end of the day. Saquon Barkley, besides the fumble, that should not have counted, was fantastic. He was all over the place in this game in a very good way. In a very good way. If you just look at his stats, 27 carries for 159 yards. There were a couple of times where he could have broke free, and Jacksonville's defense just barely got him to take him down before, he basically would have been gone for an easy touchdown down the field. That's how good Saquon was in this game. Jalen Hurts had a nice game running the ball as well. He had 13 carries for 67 yards, including one of the touchdowns in this game as well. So Jalen Hurts doing his thing. Had some very nice dimes in this game, especially that 3rd and 22. That was still a good pass by Jalen, but that catch by Devontae Smith. Holy fucking shit. There were so many amazing plays in this game. Even going back to Saquon, he's bouncing off people, jumping, hurdling over people. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This is amazing. This is fantastic. You're doing what you should be doing against a team like Jacksonville. There's so many things that are going on here. That's brilliant. That's amazing. And then your coach. Decided to, I want to have my stake in this game. Everyone's doing their thing. I want to have my footprint on the details. Let's be aggressive every time. Let's be aggressive on 2-point conversions every single touchdown. Let's really rub salt into the wound. And you failed every single time. Sometimes just taking the points is equally as acceptable. It just is. It really just is. Oh my God. I really want to see what Nick Sirianni has to say during his press conference after this. I want to know what his excuses were. Because, like I said, there were a lot of things that were great. Eagles getting the Trevor Lawrence. There were a lot of good things from the defensive front. Saquon Barkley was great. Nakobe Dean's presence was good in this game. Jalen Hurts had some really good runs in this game, some mobility there. That's really good. It's improving after every single game. Devontae was huge on that one drive. And then, like I said, just Saquon Barkley in general, the entire game was just completely fantastic. It just was. But I really want to say, I really want to hear if Nick Sirianni has anything to say after this, because my God. But then also something that doesn't go right for you is A.J. Brown leaves the game early with a knee injury. So that definitely was a missing presence in this game, and hopefully it's not bad. But I guess it was bad enough to where he decided to not return the rest of the game, or was listed as doubtful to return and will not return into the game. So I'm not sure what happened during the game to A.J. Brown that caused the knee injury, but that definitely is a huge blow to this offense, because this offense is definitely completely different when you have one of the best wide receivers in the league in A.J. Brown, even though you still have some amazing weapons with Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts in his legs. A.J. Brown makes this offense even something more special, and the offense definitely looks a little different without A.J. Brown in the mix. So that is something that I am very concerned about on that front. So, definitely very concerned on that front. Not going to lie. I am really not going to lie. But I really want to see if there's anything from Nick Sirianni, but I'm not really seeing anything right now on the Twitterverse that is from Nick Sirianni, even though we should be seeing some here. Let's see. I don't think I'm seeing some stuff by Kevin Nagandi. So Kevin Nagandi of ESPN. So let's see. This tweet from Kevin Nagandi. Eagles talent won that game. They bailed out the head coach. I've asked this for months. Where does Nick Sirianni make his team better? His decisions are George Costanza-esque. Just do the opposite. His decisions are holding the team back from being a serious contender. And then someone commented it, which decisions were wrong. The only one I disagreed with was the 4th and inches call play. Then Kevin Nagandi quote tweeted that saying the 4th and inches play call, going for 2 and taking extra points off the board, chasing the 2 the rest of the game, attempted a 57-yard field goal pin, attempting a 57-yarder, pin the Jags and make them work. Nakobe Dean made the catch of his career to save that game. This was Atlanta all over again, but worse. But you found a way to win, basically. Yeah, I definitely could see that. My God. Is there anything else from this? Because there is no defense of Nick Sirianni in this game. There just isn't. There just isn't. There's just no defense of Nick Sirianni. No one should be defending Nick Sirianni. It just is. It's just the case. No one should be. And right now, I'm not really seeing anything from the Nick Sirianni front. I am not seeing anything there. So, might as well go to some stats from this game. So, Jalen Hurts, he was 18 of 24 for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. He took a couple of sacks there, but still had a very good quarterback rating of 132. Saquon Barkley, amazing, 27 carries for 159 yards and 1 touchdown. Jalen Hurts, 13 carries, 67 yards, 1 touchdown there. Devonta Smith had 4 receptions for 87 yards, which basically came on one of those last few drives where he made the one-handed catch in the end zone from the touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 3 receptions for 40 yards there, including the 1 touchdown pass that he had at the beginning of the game. Jahan Dotson had an amazing catch in this game as well. It was a ball that I believe that got batted in the air either by Dotson or the defender in coverage of Dotson, but he managed to recover and find a way to reel the ball in to give the Eagles a very huge first down on that play. I believe that was in the third of the fourth quarter, if I am not mistaken. I believe it was in the third quarter, most likely. A.J. Brown, before he left the game, he had 2 receptions on 4 targets for 36 yards. Alcantara had 5 receptions for 30 yards. Kenny Gainwell had a chance, and that's basically it on that play. Saquon Barkley had the fumble, which basically should not have happened there. Bond had a very huge game. Josh Sweat had 2 sacks in this game, so that was very huge from the defensive line standpoint. Cooper DeJean, very good in coverage once again. Nakobe Dean had a really good game, especially with the interception there. So there definitely was some good things from the defensive front and just the defense in general. Like I said, it's mainly just Nick Sirianni that really takes it away from this game. There were also a lot of situations where penalties took you out of the way. You had 8 penalties in this game compared to Jacksonville's 4. So penalties were definitely a very huge issue on this game standpoint. But no, I'm not really seeing anything from the Nick Sirianni standpoint right here. I am not whatsoever. Don't think there is. I don't think there is. So, let's see. Is there anything else on here just to look at? Yeah, Dallas Cowboys, they lost today. They got absolutely embarrassed once again by the Atlanta Falcons. They're just bad, and I believe Dak got injured and CeeDee Lamb got injured in that game, and the Eagles do play the next week, so we'll see what the ramifications are for that game. They play in Dallas, so that'll be an interesting thing. But the Washington Commanders, they did win as well, so I believe the Eagles and them are tied for first place in the NFC East, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check that once again, just to make sure and be safe. No, Washington is 7-2. They're not 6-2 because the Eagles did have the bye week. Okay, that makes sense. When is Washington's bye week? When is Washington's bye week? Did they have their bye week yet, or do they? Their bye week is in week 14, so they have 1, 2, 3, 4 more games until their bye week, which is between December 1st and December 15th. Okay, so they play December 1st, they have the bye week, and then they play December 15th. So looking at Washington's schedule, they got Pittsburgh next, which will be a tough game just because of Pittsburgh defense. Then they have the Thursday night game here in Philadelphia on the 14th. Then they play Dallas on the 24th. And then their schedule definitely lightens up a little bit. What else? New Orleans on the 15th. Eagles on the 22nd. Atlanta on whatever day it says it could be a flex game. And then the same thing with Dallas. That's their last game of the season. That could be a flex game as well. So that'll be interesting on that front. But I really do want to see if there's anything from fucking Nick Sirianni. My God. Because there's just nothing that defends him. There was some... You left at least, 8-9 points on the board with all of your goddamn decision making in this game. Like that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. My God, it is so bad, so bad, so bad. 8-9 points on the board. I just want to see so where did all this come from? So obviously your first play you punt and then the touchdown. Yeah, that was a good play from Jalen Hurts to Saquon Barkley. You actually kicked the extra point there. Then you kick a field goal to make it 10-0 there. Was there any other stupid decisions from this? I don't think there was. Then you have, down. You went for it on 4th down on 4th and 3, I believe so, before the half. And then thankfully your defense did something there. But then the interception happened, which led to another Eagles touchdown. That was the run-in by Saquon Barkley from 3rd and 17, so that was nice to see. What else there? And then you tried to go for 2 points there, which completely failed, so that was just ugly. Was there any other 2-point plays in this first quarter? I don't think there was. No, you went for the extra point there. Field goal, that was just a traditional field goal. And then you go for 2 points on the first drive of the third quarter, and then 2-point conversion failed. Then you kick the extra point, then the flag happens, and then you try to go for 2 and you fail. Just doesn't make sense. Then Jacksonville scores their touchdown, then they get the fumble recovery touchdown, which should not have happened, and then you go down because you decide to go for it on 4th and inches, which should not have happened. Then you force the punt, then you score the touchdown thanks to Devontae Smith's amazing catch, but then Jacksonville goes back down the field and scores. Then you miss the field goal, and then the interception. My God. This game was just fucking stupid. Stupid. That is the title of this video. Nick Sirianni'S Stupidity. That is basically it. I'm really trying to see if there's anything from Nick Sirianni's press conference. I am not seeing anything on Twitter. Is he having his press conference yet? I have no idea. There's nothing here on the press conference. What the hell, man? Is there anything on the Eagles Twitter? Let's see. Is there anything here? So it looks like the press conference stuff just started, so I do want to wait here and see what Nick Sirianni does have to say. I do want to hear this. I definitely do want to hear this. So I have Eagles Twitter open right here just to see when the press conference will start. So it looks like they just went live. Yeah, they just went live, it looks like. So nothing has happened yet. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, God, this freaking chat here in Twitter is just completely crazy. My God. Where is it at? What else is there? So, might as well get to the Anytime hotline here and get to a voicemail. Maybe that'll start. Maybe that'll, last as long here to get to Nick Sirianni's press conference. So, let's go to that. Let's mute that there. And then bring up Sean, because he did leave a voicemail in this game. It's a pretty long one, so they'll probably waste some time here. So let's see. Sean, what do you got to say here?
Man, there's so much to get to in this one. I'll try to keep it concise because we know we're on a time limit here. First of all, in that game, 2 of the greatest offensive plays I think you'll see. The spinning reverse leapfrog by Saquon Barkley. Haven't seen that in the game, I got to admit. And what a catch by Devontae Smith. I mean, that was a thing of beauty. Number 2, you see the importance once again of A.J. Brown. The minute A.J. Brown leaves the field, the whole, operation falls apart. 3, these officials tonight should be fired. What a disgrace all night long. From the 2-point conversion that was taken away, the spotting of the ball, and the fumble that wasn't. I mean, Saquon Barkley was clearly touched on that play. How you can miss that call is inexcusable. Fourth, Doug Peterson probably loses his job today. I think Nick Sirianni should go right out the door with him. I mean, when you're up 16-0 against a team that's doing nothing, and you have a chance to kick an extra point to go up 17, I mean, isn't that more than a 2-score lead? When you're chasing points during a game, that damn near cost them the game. And it will at some point. There's a fine line toward being aggressive and being stupid. And he crossed it multiple times. I don't know how you leave this game tonight as an Eagle fan. It had the smell of the Atlanta game all over it at the end, but this time they survived. But not an impressive win by any means, but I guess you'll take it.
I mean, yes. At the end of the day, yes, you do take a win. You are 6-2 on the year. Yes, that is the biggest thing there at the end of the day. But there were, once again, like Sean said, stupidity by Nick Sirianni is what almost costed you this game again. And yes, the Saquon fumble should never have been called a fumble because it was obvious he was taken down by contact. I even forgot about the tush-push 2-point conversion that should have been converted because Jalen did cross the goal line, but then for some reason the ref reviewed it, they spotted it poorly, and everything there. I completely forgot about that because so much other shit happened in this game. But that's like minuscule compared to everything else. Like I said, you're chasing points the entire goddamn game. You're not going to get you got away with that against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and you barely escaped that. Think about it when you play a team like Detroit. Think about it when you play a team like who else in the NFL? Who else in the NFL that's really good? If you think about, playing the Kansas City Chiefs, if you play the Buffalo Bills, if, like those type of teams, like even against the Washington Commanders, like would you get away with it with that, that type of game against Washington? Probably not with Jaden Daniels. Most likely not. Pittsburgh, I mean, I don't think they're that good. They're that good because of their defense. But you understand my point. You got away with it and barely by one of the worst teams in the league. It's not going to work. It just isn't. You can't chase points every time. So that it's just Nick Sirianni's stupidity is what basically almost costed you this game. Basically. If they lose to Dallas, and Dallas is bad, hell, Dallas might not even have Dak or CeeDee Lamb next week. If you lose to Dallas without Dak and CeeDee Lamb, ooh, there are issues here. There are issues here. And yes, you could definitely say that this was a quote-unquote trap game for the Eagles. You can definitely say that, and they almost fell for the trap. I don't know. I just don't know. Lane Johnson said it felt like it should have been a 40-point game for the Eagles, but there was a lack of focus in the second half, and they need to work on that at practice with pressurized situations. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Zach Bond did play his ass off. He was really good. He was really good. He's been a very bright spot for this defense when no one expected him to be that. No one expected him to be that standout and play as good as he's been. Even Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean has been really good too. Like, that was his best in coverage play of the season, of his career on that interception. That was the best he's looked in coverage. And granted, yes, Trevor Lawrence overthrew that ball on the final play, which helped Nakobe Dean's case. But still, he made the play. He made the interception. So, I'll take that at the end of the day. Yo, Eagles, is Nick Sirianni going to fucking talk here? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Dallas is scary. You know the refs will be in Jerry's back. Dallas has been getting crushed every single game in their stadium. I would not be afraid of playing in Dallas. I personally wouldn't be. I don't know. Dallas is just functionally, they're just not a good team at all. Yeah, you give Saquon Barkley an actual team, it shows off what his talents actually were. And the Giants thought they didn't need him. Only people Nick should be talking to are Jeff and Howie. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're pissed after this. I am sure. I apologize. the Eagles put the broadcast up here that Nick Sirianni's press conference is going to happen at some point, and they've been live for 6 minutes, and all it says, press conference will continue shortly. What is going on here? My God, this freaking live stream for the Eagles has been up for 7 minutes, and there has been no press conference. Come on, man. I want to hear what you have to say on your stupidity today. And I swear to God, if you put your goddamn children in the front of the press conference again and hide behind them, I'm going to scream. If the press conference is taking that long because they fired him, that would be funny. That would be hilarious. That would be utterly hilarious. Because I'm refreshing Twitter constantly, and I am not seeing anything. I am not seeing anything here. I am not. Well, I guess we could look at the rest of the schedule. Why not? Because there's nothing else. There's nothing else. Oh yeah, Nick. Definitely Nick won't say anything irrelevant. I just want to hear what his excuses were. If it's going to be it's most likely going to be the same. I'm always aggressive. I'm going to stay aggressive, and that's what defines his team. Yes, I understand. That's probably what he's going to say. I want to hear it from his mouth, though. I do. Personally, I just do. So, rest of the Eagles schedule here. Dallas next week at 4:25. Then they got the Thursday night game against the Commanders. Then they got a Sunday night game against the Rams. So then they got the 4:25 game against the Ravens. So that's a couple of tough games in a row right here. Let's see. Then they got Panthers, Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants to close out the year. A lot of CBS games in a row, it looks like. Yeah, Cowboys next week, Commanders on Thursday night, Rams on Sunday night, Ravens another 4:25, and then a 1 o'clock, a 4:25, a 1 o'clock, a 4:25. So it's kind of interchanging here on the times. Ugh. Yo, Nick, are you talking yet? Nick, where the hell are you at? I want to listen to this man talk. God damn it, Nick. Dude is hiding from the media again. My goodness. Lane and Mekhi Becton are probably stuffing Nick's head in the toilet as we speak. Well, yeah, Lane Johnson was the one that, the offensive line is talking about. The offense needs to be better. The offense needs to do this. They got to run the ball more. Maybe that's how they, maybe that could be a case. Stuffing his head in the toilet. Man. Like I said, I just wanted a nice, chill reaction. Not have to go too over the top. A nice calming win. Everything there. Because my throat feels funny. And like I said, like I said at the beginning, when my throat starts to feel funny, feels scratchy and everything like that, I know I'm probably going to be sick in the next few days. Probably getting a cold because of this goddamn inconsistent weather. One day it's 80 degrees, one day it's 60, one day it's 50. It's not consistent. That's why I get sick at this time of the year. Because it sucks. Even though I love this weather, I love this time of the year, it's the time of the year where I get sick the most because of the goddamn weather doesn't want to be consistent whatsoever. And I didn't want to put too much strain on my goddamn voice. But here I am, having to express more emotion, express more violently. Not violently, but you understand what I mean. Oh, looks like Nick Sirianni is talking. Here he is. Thank you for shutting me up, Nick.
Right today. How you doing?
Nick, you were pretty aggressive today going for the 2-point conversions. You went for a couple 4th downs. I'm curious, how do you balance wanting to be aggressive with maybe looking at the results you weren't converting them?
Yeah, we've done pretty good at those in the past. And so you always think about everything. You think about who you have. You think about your past experiences with it. You always look at the analytics of it. We've been pretty good on those. Today they did a good job. And so I'll look at everything, but everything in the moment, I'm always doing what I think's best for the football team. And today it didn't work, but that's the way it goes. That's the hat I have to wear, right? There, when we get a fourth down and we convert a fourth down, we're not, it's nothing's really said. When we don't, I understand that there's going to be questions, but again, I have to be able to have the balls to do that, really, at the end of the day, and say, am I doing everything I can do to help us win the game? And in those moments, I thought I was, but I'll go back and relook at them. I'm always going to be hypercritical of myself, and when it doesn't work, I'm definitely going to think even more about it. So, I'm just happy with the way the guys played. I thought we played with great fundamentals today. I'll be interested to see what our tackling numbers are coming out of today. But I thought I thought Zach Bond tackled his butt off. I thought Reed had some good tackles. Coop. So I'll look at that. I thought we caught the ball well. I mean, there were some unbelievable catches, both offensively and defensively. With a lot of things that we talk about, we took the ball way well. I'll get some clarification on Saquon's fumble, but I thought we took care of the ball, and Jalen did a great job taking care of the football. I thought our fundamentals that we worked so hard on were really on point today, which helped us get the win today. It's tough to win.
What do you think of Saquon's backward turtle?
It was the best play I've ever seen, I had no choice but to give him. Like, at the end of the game, I've been given a game ball this year, just like for special plays. Obviously, Nakobe gets one, ends the game with I guess, would you call it a walk-off interception? I guess you call it that. Even though you got to take 3 knees after, they should allow you just to go to the next play. But Saquon's play, there's going to be what I think's so cool. There's going to be kids all over the country and all over Philadelphia. I really think about that, trying to make that play and talking about that play and like simulating that play as they play backyard football or pee-wee football. Like, they ain't gonna be able to make it because that play. I think he's the only one in the world that could do that. I thought it was. I'm speechless. Like, it was unbelievable. And the way the crowd, it brought the crowd, and then when I looked up, like, I thought I saw what I saw, and then I looked at, but as a coach, you're looking at the line sometimes, you're looking at the secondary, you're looking at the defense, and so I thought I saw it, but then when I looked up at the big screen, and the crowd reacted to it, it was unbelievable. I can't say enough, like, how athletic he is.
Aside, is he better than you thought he was now that you have him?
We knew how good we knew he was special. Just when you're preparing to play against special players in this league, they tend to take so much of your time up, of you thinking about them and you preparing to stop them. So we knew he was special. I think when you're around him on a daily basis, I think it's safe to say, yes, Jeff, that he's even more special than I could even imagined. And it's with everything, though. Like, I can't say enough about Saquon, the leader, the worker, the teammate. It was just unbelievable, that play. So I think it's fair to say that he's even more special than I even thought.
We saw AJ leave the field in the third quarter before the offense had gone onto the field. Can you just help explain that sequence there?
Yeah, obviously I'm going to get more information. I haven't met with the medical staff yet, and so I'll get more information here on him. Hope he's okay. He's obviously one of our best players, and we missed him out there. I thought Devontae did an unbelievable job in his absence. We have 2 go-to guys, and Devontae, got even more, balls his way, and he made some unreal plays. I heard the catch that he made in the back of the end zone, and then Jahan's catch. My goodness, there were some plays today that will live on in the sports world of Philadelphia for a long time, because they were just great individual plays by these guys. That you can talk about the fundamentals of how you catch things and how you get to your back when you're going to the ground and this and that, but, like, man, for him to get his hand on it, that's 2 weeks in a row that Jalen's made, put a perfect ball on him, in tight coverage, and that Smitty's made a spectacular play. And so man, I just thought there were some special plays made, and shoot, we haven't even talked about the defense yet. Who's got a defensive question?
Was Bryce Huff healthy, and if so, what went into his limited usage?
Bryce came off the field after walkthroughs. Again, won't talk too much about injuries, but his hand was bothering him, and he was getting treatment in the locker room after not walkthroughs, after warm ups, and so we were trying to protect him there.
When it comes to the linebacker play you've gotten right now out of Zach and out of Nakobe, what are your thoughts about that? And were you expecting this type of level of play for these two when you first came in?
I think we've all the moment we drafted Nakobe, I think the excitement was there. I remember coming down with you guys in there, and I was yelling about it, how excited we were. And it's been a long road. He's had to battle. One, he was behind two really good players that when he was a rookie, and he played on special teams, and then last year he had an injury that sidelined him. And so I think we've all just had a ton of confidence in Nakobe, and he continues to get better. I can't remember if I told you guys this or not, but there's a night that he's in there just grinding. I think one thing that makes Nakobe special is his mind and his leadership, and he's constantly working on that. I'm walking downstairs one evening late, and he's still in there watching tape, and so he's got a special work ethic, which allows him to make special plays like he did today. And then Zach Bond, I think that he's just a really good athlete. And he's really worked on, I know he was a great special teams player for the Saints and did some of the things that we're doing with him now. But then, he's such a good athlete that he gets guys down in the open field. He makes great tackles. He's nice. Now he's taking the ball away, and with special plays. That catch was really good catch. And so the linebackers are the guys that are getting everybody on the same page. They're in a lot of plays, and I think our guys are doing good. And I think our backups, we got a lot of confidence in them as well. And so it's so much fun when you get to the work that you do in the dark, shows up in the light. And I really see that from those two guys of all the work that they've put in.
You mentioned they got the 2 stops on the 2-point conversions on the 2 sneaks, and then you had a fourth that I think it was inches. My perspective, inside 1, and you didn't run a sneak on that. Were they doing something?
Yeah, they did.
That sort of made you lose confidence in it.
They did a good job. I mean, anytime you get stuffed on it, you think twice and you try to go a different route. And they got us. I thought they did a good job of it. We're going to have to do a better job as coaches, helping them succeed. We've worked really hard at that play. That play's been our bread and butter, and it didn't work tonight. And so what do we do as coaches? That's the first thing we're going to look. We'll look at the tape, see where we made a mistake, but then as far as execution, but we're going to look at ourselves as coaches first and see what we can do to help them out in those scenarios. And again, you always, hindsight, you look through it and you say, shoot, we didn't get it here. Now the third time we did it, obviously we didn't run that play. We tried to get around the outside, and it didn't work. So we'll be hypercritical on ourselves. But good job to Jacksonville for getting that play stopped, because not a lot of, to be quite honest with you, not a lot of people have been able to stop that, and they did a good job. And we're going to probably have to be ready to see that again.
2 more, please.
2 rookie defensive backs play at this level as an offensive guy. How rare is that?
I just go back to how calm and cool these guys are. And going back to Q, when we watched him at the Senior Bowl, he wanted to, when we watched the tape of the Senior Bowl, he didn't back down to anything, and that's all I've seen. He's just calm. He's confident in himself. He's a really good football player. And then the same thing with Coop. I think Coop has just this competitive energy, and I think they're both energy givers, and they're making a lot of plays, and that's huge, right? And so I think I look back on a couple of the draft pick, Will Shipley makes an unbelievable play on special teams today. The draft picks are doing a great job, and then we talk about Zach Bond and what he's done, as far as a free agent. So I just feel like we've added to our team, how he's done a great job of adding to our football team and helping us get better. And that's and so just again pumped for those guys, 33 and 27. Just they're playmakers, and hopefully we get to see them here in Philadelphia for a long time.
In these last 4 weeks, how much has the success of the running game helped out the defense as well?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think when you're able to, like, we were able to extend the drive. Now we gave the ball back to them, but in Cincinnati we had the ball for a long time where the defense didn't have to go back on the field. So I think it all plays together. And I think we've been explosive in the run game. Anytime you rush for over 200 yards, it takes everybody. I think there was offensive line, and Saquon's going to get a majority of the credit, as they should. But then there's this outside zone we run to the side of Smitty, and Smitty's so tough and physical. And I know it's crazy to say, he's 175 pounds and he's physical, and he got a great block on the perimeter to help. So it takes everybody. So when you're running the football like that and you're playing defense like that, that just shows you team, and that's, again, it's the best teams that win, not the best groups of individuals. So I'm really proud of those guys for that.
Zach, 17 touchdown run. What made that the right call, and why did that work?
Good call by Kellen, right? I mean, a lot of preparation goes into that. I think sometimes you can put the tape on, and sometimes you look at it as a game flow, and you watch the game in the flow, and sometimes you watch cut-ups, right? I mean, that's just coaching, right? And so when you get to the 3rd and 15, you watch it intently and see what the right calls are there. You're not really expecting that you're getting many of those, but we gave it to a special player. The offense line did special things. I'm sure that we got good perimeter blocking there. I didn't see it. I just I'll look at the tape, but I'm sure tomorrow when you ask me, I'm going to say, yeah, this guy did a good job on the perimeter, and then Saquon's so explosive. So I just thought Kellen made a great call in that area. I know Kevin Patullo has a lot to do with that call as well. I know he's run that play in the past. And so, man, I can't say enough about our coaches. The job Kellen's doing, the job.
That's enough there from Nick Sirianni, obviously. Said nothing on note, obviously. I wish there was a little more to dissect there, but same old Nick Sirianni. Same old. So that'll do it for today, everybody. I appreciate you all for tuning in, as always. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. And like I said, also don't forget to use the code TTPSPORTS. $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. In terms of videos for the next few days, I definitely want to do some stuff here. I definitely want to try to get into some of this stuff with the Sixers and Marcus Hayes and Joel Embiid, all that crap, because that is a whole conversation in itself. I definitely want to get a baseball vid out there as well, or a stream out there just talking Phillies offseason, because there's definitely a lot of interesting ways to go, because you see some things with, the Yankees, they have until tomorrow to decide what they're doing with Garrett Cole's contract, if he's going to opt out, if they're going to decline something or something like that. I have no idea who the Phillies are going to go after in free agency. There's definitely a lot of things that we could talk about. Obviously, Flyers recaps will be this week as well. Also got to play by ear just in case I am sick, but I will try to do videos if I am sick or not, so definitely don't worry about that. You're just going to have to deal with my voice probably sounding very weird for the next few days. So, like I said, everybody, appreciate you all for tuning in as always, so don't forget to do everything like I said.